Hi, Zizaran here, and I'm going to make this video. I'm talking about it live on stream anyway, and we're going to talk about my new unique that I designed for getting third in the boss kill race, and this is Soul Ascension. So I got to work with Rishi, I'm a big fan because he's made so many of my favorite items, including cool things like Mage Blood and Choir of the Storm. And before he worked at TDD, he was the supporter that made Cloak of Defiance. He made Cloak of Defiance before he worked at TDD. So he's the reason like Archmage and everything there exists. So he's done so many cool things. And it was really cool to get to talk to him a lot and work on making a unique item. So that was a really, really cool experience. Now, there were a few things that were really, really difficult. So I have a lot of ideas for unique items. However, part of the problem is they needed to be specific to the boss, and ideally, they also needed to be unique. What was your part in this item, Sis? Everything. The name, the flavor text, every stat on the item. I had a lot of other ideas. Like, for example, I wanted to make a Stone of Jordan tribute with +1/+2. So, like, most of the time +1, but a small percent chance for it being +2 gems on left ring, etc. And then it would be like +2 gems, or +1 gems, or +1 fire gems, lightning gems. It would be random. But they weren't very keen on having multiple Watcher's Eye type items on one boss. So instead, I started looking through the list. I was like, okay, well, what does Uber Elder do? Like, what does Shaper do? What does Elder do? And I made like a list. It was like, there's souls, there's chaos damage. And I thought about like loads of different ideas. Some of the ideas I thought about was, for example, well, what about an awakened Watcher's Eye that does something, but it also gives you +2 ascendancy points? And they didn't necessarily say no to that. The problem is that they can't do that at the moment. And the reason they couldn't do that was because they don't have a way of remembering what were the last 2 points added. So that's something I really wanted, like +2 ascendancy points. And there were like so many like cool ideas. A lot of the early ideas I had was just things like skill points on a ring early. And then Rishi was like, well, that's not really unique. That's just taking a stat from another item and putting it on a ring. So he was like encouraging me to think about something that doesn't exist in the game, but you want. And then I was like, first, for a long time, I almost went for enhancing Zibakwa, the glorious vanity stat. And making a ring that did something for glorious vanity. But instead of making a tank item, I was like, well, I think Soul Eater is really cool, but I don't like that Soul Eater falls off so easily. And what if I can get Soul Eater for a boss? And then I was like looking at an image of the Elder draining bosses, and I was like, oh, what if I make a Soul Eater glove? What if I get a Soul Eater glove? I don't understand how the gloves work, or maybe I'm an idiot. So the way these work is when you're hitting a unique enemy, you get a soul. If you're not in presence of a unique enemy, you will start losing souls every 3 seconds. Now, this is quite a large radius. So it's basically every boss arena. It won't be good for all bosses. Like Cyrus, for example, can probably be quite annoying with this. Like, it is basically over screen wide, so don't worry too much about the in your presence. And it's not just Pinnacle either, it's unique enemy. So eat a soul when you hit a unique enemy, and what this does is 5% attack and cast speed per soul. So that means that you can get 250 attacking cast speed. So you get 250 attacking cast speed. And the reason I went with something like this is, well, I really like Soul Eater, and when you're farming Uber Elder, and we were supposed to design really rare items too, when you're farming Uber Elder, you already have a perfect character, right? Like, it can already kill pretty much everything in the game. So I was like, well, what if I can make something that can enable other builds to maybe do this content? For example, a great thing for this is you can make a super tanky build that maybe has damage issues, and this solves the damage issue. And outside of like Omega level damage softcore builds, which they won't use this, right? This is more for hardcore or tanky builds or slower players. But Like, obviously, you have softcore builds that clap a Uber boss in 0.3 seconds. This is, like, great for, like, you know, Winter Orb totems and so many other builds. It's not for mapping. It's for balanced builds and for swapping to them for pinnacle bosses. It's great for Bone Shatter, Winter Orb, drop rate. So I don't know about the drop rate, but Frishi said, because when talking about the power, because I'm scared of making a weak item. And then he said, well, the tester said this has to be rare, right? Because it's insane. That's what the testers were saying. And even most videos, I'm usually like anywhere from 3 to 10 minutes in boss fights. This is just for Uber bosses. Uber pinnacle bosses. Here is where it gets really cool. Anomalous Kinetic Bolt has increases and reductions to cast speed applied to your attack speed at between 0 to 50% of their value. So 20% is 50% of your value. So at 40%, that's 100% of your value. That means that with some quality, you'll get 500% attack speed from Anomalous Kinetic Bolt. And I don't know yet how it interacts with other Soul Eaters, because this has changed how Soul Eater works. Because before, your Soul Eater just drops off, but now it doesn't. With a combination of other things, you might be able to use these for mapping and keep it for a lot of the map. If you think about it, there's so many things on the skill tree. Like, look, people take these nodes and they're 3% cast speed. These are 4% cast speed. You're getting 1 skill point per second. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. I've always liked swapping characters or items for bossing. The flavor text is a reference to the bee. Oh, that's so cringe. It literally hurts. Yeah,
There's a fucking bee in here! Hold on. There's a fucking bee in here! Hold on.
Was there really a bee? There was really a bee. Because I had my window open because it was so warm at the time. They were offering to like name the item, come up with flavor text and stuff like that, because not everybody wants to do that. And I'm like, oh, no, dude. I wanted to be like tentacly and sort of drainy. Because you're the Uber Elder now. I'm pretty happy. They did say as well, if for some reason that they end up being underpowered or overpowered, they are open to changing them in future patches. But when testing them, they said they were kind of OP. And I already know that they're going to be OP for kinetic. Like, it's literally, you can get 700 attack speed from a glove. But yeah, I'll wrap up the video there. That's pretty much all I have to say about it. It was quite hard coming up with something that was like unique and being restricted to the boss, right? Like, I can't do a fire damage item, for instance. And I didn't really want to make an item that is a weapon. The reason for that is I feel no matter how strong I made the weapon, it gets outdated within 2 patches. And I'd be worried about them updating it. I feel like most weapons becomes outdated. And I think it's very difficult to make one that doesn't. Anyway, if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching. Sub if you like the video. But more importantly, try to die less than I do. If Quinn made an item, what do you think he'd make? I don't know, something that heals oak.